The Slingshot Racing League welcomes you live to Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee for the Apex Energy Summer Throwback Series race. It's the Sim Racing Tech 200. And once again, over 146,000 screaming, loyal virtual race fans are in the facility to see the best in short track racing. It's 82 degrees as we speak, and that means at least the start of this race will be hot and slick as the sun sets here in Thunder Valley. With multiple grooves and no power steering, this could get interesting. Good evening, folks. Ryan O'Hara alongside Tony Hilbrands, and we're here to bring you flag-to-flag coverage of all the action. Tony, it's great to hear you again, my friend. We're in for a great race after a week off for the 4th of July holiday. Hope yours was awesome. Who have you been impressed with so far looking into this event?
Well, tonight we got some of the usuals up front on the speed and practice so far. You got Sobzak in second, Deweese, who's come on really strong in the past few weeks. He's probably the most impressive so far because he is a newcomer and he's showing that he can run up front with everybody here in this league in his rookie season. So he's probably the most impressive right now for my opinion. How about you? And thanks. It was a nice 4th of July. How about yours? And again, who are you impressed with this season?
Well, this season, I've honestly been impressed with Braxton Deweese and his ability to, go through adversity and come back and be in the hunt for wins. Obviously, at the end at our last race 2 weeks ago, didn't pan in his favor. But right now, he's running third in practice with a 15.791. So obviously, he has some speed. Johnny Rapp is always impressive, and obviously Scotty Sapsack, he's always doing pretty well. And we have a crash in the back, and well, it's our race control guy, Scott Tompkins. He won't be racing tonight, but he likes to practice with the boys, and that car looks pretty much done. But Patrick Colby is another one. He's been the quickest so far in this session. But 200 laps, man, that's a long stretch, and I think the driver who saves his stuff and is smart out there will be the one to prevail at the end of this race.
Yeah, as you said, we got 200 laps tonight. They do have 4 sets of tires in the pits, or for the race, they got 3 in the pits with what they start on, and they're only going to have to worry about pitting once for fuel, but if there's enough caution, you can maybe stretch it. But yeah, as practice is winding down here, we quickly go to the national anthem and catch you back up with qualifying while it's underway when we come back.
And welcome back to qualifying for the Sim Racing Tech 200. Trouble on the racetrack. Around goes Ellis Thomas. It looks like that will be the end of his qualifying run. 15.968 for the boss man. He stands 5th. And right now, Braxton Deweese is on top of the charts with a 15.848. And Tony, we have seen some qualifying laps here early on. What do you think so far?
Well, the top 3 on the board were the top 3 in practice. They're reversed from what their practice times were, but they're showing that they've got the best hot lap speed at least. And it looks like we've got 9 people who have put in a time, so that's everyone you see up there is everyone who's put in a time. And it looks like we've only got about 17 or 18 people that have shown up tonight so far. We'll see if anybody else does in the next 2 minutes or so, but if not, then we're gonna have around 18 people here. So a little smaller field than what we've been seeing, but it is also Bristol, so that there's still gonna be plenty of action on the track. I think tonight's gonna probably be a pretty good race. They've been putting on good races all season. It probably won't go green, but I think it's still gonna be some good racing out there. What do you expect to see out there tonight?
I honestly expect to see a lot of wrecks early on, not necessarily because drivers are making mistakes, but it is short track racing, and it is the essence of wrecks. Short track racing produces some of the most exciting and most frustrating finishes. But Tony, I wanted to ask you because this is the modern version of Bristol, and obviously these are the 1987 cars. This track is a lot different than the one from back in the 80s and even in the 90s and leading up to 2007 when they repaved the entire racetrack. The high side is usually the fast lane at this track, and with these cars having no power steering, do you expect to see a lot of guys tagging that outside wall tonight?
Well, I think the high side's probably gonna be the fastest on fresh tires, but I think if you're able to get it down into the first and second grooves, you'll be in the corners, you'll be able to last a little longer. But yeah, obviously these things are hard to handle, and with the speed you're gonna want to carry through the corners, you're probably gonna see a lot of people bouncing off the wall. It's probably gonna be a lot like Darlington in that fact. But as you said, these cars have never raced on this version. The version that they raced on is actually all asphalt, so they've never even been on concrete here. But that's the good thing about iRacing. You can put different cars in different places that they've never been before, and it should be a good race here tonight. I think there's going to be, as you said, a lot of action, so we'll see how it goes. And it looks like with 25 seconds left, that's probably everyone who's put in a time. Looks like there's only 13 people who did put in time. And Braxton DeWeese is looking to take home the pole here tonight.
And we have 10 seconds remaining in qualifying, and as you said, it doesn't appear anyone is on track at the moment. So as the countdown begins, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and Braxton DeWeese will be your pole sitter for tonight's Sim Racing Tech 200.
All right, so we will take you through the grid here in just a moment. There we go. All right, so yeah, as you said, Braxton DeWeese does come home with the Evan Pienta Designs Pole Award. He is, I believe we've had a different pole award winner each race this season. So I don't think there's any repeat winners. So he should be the 4th Evan Pienta Designs Pole Award winner of the season. Starting on his outside is the 81 of Scott Sobzak. 3rd will be Johnny Rapp, and Chris Smith will be starting 4th. And 5th will be Wesley Pistol, who is running a Tennessee paint scheme. So I believe he's probably from here then, so he's looking to get a good finish in his hometown track. Patrick Colby in the 9 will be starting in 6th. 7th is James Ledford in the 48. The 8 of Ellis Thomas is going to be starting 8th. 9th is Brandon Waldrop, and 10th will be James Suggs.
And rounding out the rest of the field, starting in 11th, we have Sam Oliver. In 12th, we have Ben Peace. 13th, Paul Thomas. In 14th, we have Chase Berry. In 15th, we have Matt Sheriff. 16th, Eric Kalaga. In 17th, we have Jeff Taylor. And in 18th, we have Daniel Berg. And that rounds out the 18-car field. And we had to skip over the triple 66 car of Scott Tompkins. He has race control. And so he'll be ensuring that these drivers keep their cools. Now, that's successful, I'm not so sure, Tony.
Well, it is a short track, so there's probably going to be some anger out there tonight. It's unavoidable for the most part, but as long as people don't get too hot and bothered, I think everyone will end up being happy this race is over when it does get over. But yeah, we got 200 laps here tonight as the cars are looking to pull off the track here.
And we will have 2 warm-up laps. This generally is the norm when we're on a short track. If we're on a larger track, usually have one. Basically, we go green on 1 lap. But here we are. It's a short track. We got a little bit more time. And Tony, who is your pick to win tonight?
I don't know if I could pick anyone, but I think it'll. Who you see in the top 3 right now? With Braxton, Scotty, and Johnny. I think those are going to be your top 3 finishers tonight in whatever order. How about you?
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the driver that crosses the start-finish line first will win the race.
I gotcha. And we do have quite a few people in chat right now, and with that, let me get this pulled up here for you. They are doing an Apex Energy is the sponsor of the series, and at the end, the last race of the season, Alice and Chris will pull a drawing for the winner of people who have been talking in chat the most throughout the season, and they will get a free month supply of Apex Energy with that. And after that, we will hitting the wrong buttons here. We are going green here.
And the green flag is out. The Sim Racing Tech 200 is underway, and Braxton Deweese launches it into turn number 1, and off they go as they come down the backstretch, and Braxton Deweese will lead the first lap.
Yeah, he got a really nice jump there, and he's cleared about 4 or 5 car lengths on second place as Johnny Rapp is looking to pass Scotty Sobczak there for second as they battle.
And James Suggs nearly got in the wall coming off turn 2, but he was able to keep it underneath of him. And Ben Keats is right on his back bumper.
And Sobczak gets a big run going into the corner there. Tried to go to the outside of Deweese, but wasn't able to make the pass. Yeah, Sobczak's looking to try to take the lead as soon as he can. He knows that this track likes to, even though there are multiple lanes, it likes to single file out for quite a while through the mid part of the run. I bet you he's trying to get to the lead as quickly as possible, as it looks like Patrick Colby's moving up. He's up to 4th now. It looks like the top 4 have pulled away from the rest of the field.
And Chase Berry making his
contact
start of the summer.
There's Johnny Rapp made a little bit of contact with Sobczak and spins out coming out of 4. That will be your first caution here tonight.
And that is very rare to see. Yeah, it looks like Johnny Rapp. It looks like Rapp just got a little bit too high and got into him and spun it around. So that will be the first caution of the day here on lap number 6.
Yeah, I think he realized he was going to come up into him, and he just didn't want to spin him, and he spun himself out because of that, which is unfortunate because he got some pretty heavy front end damage out of that. Hopefully for him, there'll be a few cautions for him to get that all fixed and make his way back through the field, but he's going to have a long night with only being 7 laps in right as we are under caution here. But up front, it's still Braxton Deweese, Scotty Sobczak, and Patrick Colby, your top 3, and it looks like most people are going to be staying out here. I would guess that Rapp is going to go down pit road and get his damage fixed. We'll see if anybody else comes down pit road as well.
Do you think Johnny Rapp will take this opportunity to change tires as well, considering he spun out, or do you think he's going to try to stretch this setup?
I mean, it's only a few laps. He did spin, but I don't know. I think you'd stay on tires here and save a set. They do have 3 sets in the pits, but I would still try to save a set for late in the race if they're for a late race caution. It does look like there are 3 people coming down. With Chase Berry, Jeff Taylor, and Johnny Rapp are all coming down pit road here. And we'll see what Johnny does here. If he just takes damage or if he takes the tire as well. Oh, it looks like he is taking right side at least. The 11 and the 5 are both out already, so I think they may have just topped off in gas. But Johnny Rapp is taking his tires along with his damage here, it looks like. But the pace car is coming out of the corner here, so he's not going to have too much time to get his damage fixed, so he might have to come back down later.
But he will have an extra lap of caution. And with that said, Johnny Rapp has been issued an EOL penalty for bringing out that caution. But the pace lights are still on, which means you'll have another lap of caution at least.
Yeah, so that because of the double or the single pit road, you got to go through both pit roads to get to your pit stall. So I don't think he's gonna be able to come back down this time to get more damage fixed because it's just gonna take too long. So he's gonna have to hope for another caution before he overheats or loses too much track position. I don't know if he's got enough damage for either of those situations to be a factor, but we'll see how it goes as Braxton DeWeese does choose the outside line here as we are on 1 to go here.
And when we restart, it'll be lap number 12. And just remember, we have 200 laps in this race, so quite a while to go. But here at Bristol, with laps taking roughly 15 seconds or so, those laps can really go by fast if we see some green flag racing. Braxton DeWeese chooses the outside line on this restart. And the pace car makes that hard left turn onto pit road, and the green flag is back out.
And Braxton gets another good jump as he takes a about 3 car length lead going into turn 1 there.
And Patrick Colby chooses the high side. Chris Smith chooses the low side. Here they come off 4. Chris Smith gets loose, and Patrick Colby will take the 3rd position. But Chris Smith is fighting back on the bottom, and Colby will retain the position.
And up front, Sobzak looked to the inside of DeWeese, but he wasn't able to make the pass, so DeWeese gets a good run off the corner. And it looks like Patrick Colby's looking to come up into battle Sobzak for 2nd there.
And we also have a battle for the 10th position between Ben Keith and Matt Sheriff. And James Ledford is a part of this battle as well. So we have some interesting battles ongoing here mid-pack.
Yeah, Sheriff is definitely trying to use that bottom line to get through the corner faster, but he's not able to get quite the run off the corner to make the pass stick. So it's going to probably take a few laps for him to do that if he can hang on that long.
And as we go back to the front of the field, Braxton DeWeese and Scotty Sobzak are running nearly identical times right now. Sobzak is just a tick quicker. Here he goes to the inside. And he might, no. DeWeese will lead this lap. And caution is out. We have another incident.
Looks like Johnny Rapp was involved again.
Very possible.
Let's see. Let's rewind this here. Unfortunately, the rewind isn't working properly, so we got to do it manually again. And yep, it looks like
nearly the identical cause the last time. Johnny Rapp coming off 4 gets a little high, and that may have been a little net code as well mixed in there to bring out that yellow. So it'll be interesting to see what Scott Tompkins decides to do.
Fortunately for him, though. He didn't get any damage this time, and he was able to keep it down low enough, and everyone else was able to keep it high and get around him, and he didn't hit the wall. So he didn't get any more damage that time, but he is the cause of another caution here. So we'll see what he does under yellow here.
And an EOL penalty would be essentially useless right now because he's already in the back of the field. I have a feeling Tompkins will bypass the EOL penalty just It just looked a little bit net Cody from my point of view.
It just, well, it looked like just a racing deal as well. As
Yeah.
Johnny Rapp and Chase Berry, the only ones to come down pit road yet again. Both of them came down last time. I'm sure Chase is probably just topping off fuel yet again, and this will let Johnny fix more of his damage, and he's probably not going to take tires this time, so he should get a good chunk of his damage fixed under this caution. And while we are under caution, we do have a rig of the race again this week, so we will go through that here quick. So about a minute here, you can see Chase Berry's rig of the race.
Oh, hey, how are you guys doing today? I thought I should show you off my rig. All right, we have our, oh no, I fucking broke that shit. Anyways, have VR, we have a Fanatec pedals, headset, right there, and I have my road racing rim that goes with it. Yeah, nothing special. We got it. That's pretty much it. Short and sweet. Yeah.
And welcome back to the Sim Racing Tech 200. You just saw Chase Berry's rig of the race. Quite the rig there, Tony. And we're on lap 20. 2 cautions already, both brought out by Johnny Rapp. So quite a rare scene to see a Rapp involved in so many incidents to start a race. But this is Bristol, and anything can happen. It's still 200 laps. So a long way to go, and anything can happen. Braxton DeWeese continues to lead, and we'll go through the top 10. Scotty Sobczak runs in second, Patrick Colby in third, Chris Smith fourth, Ellis Thomas in fifth, and we have Sam Oliver, James Suggs, Wesley Pistol, James Ledford, and Ben Keast rounding out the top 10. But going back to that last run, Tony, Sobczak was starting to make gains over the last few laps. Obviously, we were robbed of potentially seeing whether he could complete the pass over the 15 car by the caution. But what are you seeing so far, and where is Sobczak capitalizing where DeWeese is not?
Well, it looks like Sobczak can get into and off the corner better, but DeWeese rolls through the corner a lot better as he gets another great jump here. He's got about 4 or 5 car lengths again going into turn 1, and Chris Smith follows him on the outside, restarting in 4th. So Sobczak's not going to have a clear shot at him yet. He's going to have to get by Smith to run DeWeese back down here. And he just clears him going into turn 1.
And Ben Keast and James Ledford made a little contact. Keast checked up a little bit. But we continue, no incident.
And don't look now, but the 59 of Sam Oliver has moved up into 4th. He's another strong contender who's been running up front all season. And he believed he did win one, didn't he? I know he won the Clash. I can't remember if he won a points race, but he's been up front and finished the top 3 quite a few times this season.
He did win a points race.
And yeah, as the top 5 are all nose to tail.
And Chris Smith is starting to close in on Sobczak. We'll see once the tires start to get some more laps on him. We'll see if Sobczak can duplicate what he was working on the last run. But so far, DeWeese is holding the fort.
He's running a very smooth line. He's running that middle line, but he's staying really steady, so he's able to keep his momentum, and it's forcing everyone else, especially Sobczak, who's really been the only one who's been competing with him, to have to search bottom and high side just to try to get a run and make the pass. But Luis is definitely able to hold his own there, and it's forcing everyone else to use their stuff up to try to get around him. But it looks like Sobczak and Smith are settling down and just going to ride out here, it looks like, for a little bit here.
And we have a battle for 5th spot. It's Ellis Thomas looking to the inside of Patrick Colby down the back straightaway. They're also starting to close in on Sam Oliver, but Ellis didn't get a good run into 3 that time, and Colby will remain in 5th. There was nearly contact between Matt Sheriff and Ben Keast. Sheriff got a little bit loose, but he was able to hold on to it. So move Matt Sheriff up to, looks like he is now in the 8th position.
It looks like Ben lost another spot to Ledford there, so he's down to 11th. And the 88 of Daniel Berg is trying to make the same move. Keese gets into the wall a little bit there, but keeps it up out of the way.
And correction on that, Matt Sheriff is in 9th position, 9th. But up front, Chris Smith looked to the inside of a stop stack coming off 4. So perhaps Chris Smith is seeing some new life here on lap 34.
He's been really strong this season as well. He's led a lot of laps, finished in the top 3 quite a bit as well. He is your points leader along with Deweese. I believe they're tied, as you said, before the race here tonight.
And going back to that battle between Ellis Thomas and Patrick Colby, Wesley Pistol wants some of this ammunition as they go into turn number 3. Pistol looking to the high side. Quite the battle, Tony. And at the line, Ellis Thomas is just ahead of Patrick Colby.
Yeah, Pistol's just looking for room or for one of them to decide on the battle so he can follow them through. And it looks like Ellis Thomas is going to come out the winner of that battle for the moment. So Pistol's going to probably try to go to the inside as he does there of Patrick Colby and pull around. And he doesn't quite clear him, and that brings Suggs into the picture as well. And Patrick's losing quite a few spots now with this battle going on.
And speaking of winners, Chris Smith has moved into 2nd place as he passes Scotty Sopstack. So we have a new 2nd place runner, and he's about 7/10 of a second behind our leader, Braxton Deweese, who has led since the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, he took the pole, and he hasn't looked back since then, and he's been having great race starts as well, which has helped keep him out front. And as long as he keeps running smooth like this, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to challenge him here tonight unless he falls off later in the run and if we have a good long green flag run.
And of course, Ellis Thomas had a great run at Atlanta going, but unfortunately ran into some trouble late. But here he is. He's now in the top 5. How would you rate Ellis Thomas' chances of winning today here, Tony?
Well, as long as he doesn't find trouble, which he seems to do in each race, he's definitely got a shot with his speed currently.
Sorry to interrupt, but Ben Keese just smacked the wall coming off turn number 4. No caution, but that definitely didn't feel very good.
And as you were saying that, it looked like there was a problem with Ellis, but he just got in the brakes really hard and let Wesley Pistol by for whatever reason. He seems to be back up to speed, so everything looks to be good on Ellis's car now as he runs around in 6th after letting Wesley by.
It didn't look like Ellis had any trouble. It just looked like Pistol had the run, and Ellis decided to make the smart move and let him go going into 1. So move Wesley Pistol into the 5th spot. And you know, Pistol's ran into a lot of trouble this season, but he is running very strong so far here in Thunder Valley.
He's moved up quite a bit, and it looks like he's in the same situation where Ellis and Patrick were side by side. Now Sam Oliver is trying to get around Scotty Sobczak, and Pistol's right there again, trying to follow who's going to come out on top, and Oliver and Sobczak almost made contact out of 2 there.
And no one is giving an inch right now. And you know, Oliver got a little loose going into the corner, but it's not going to matter. He's got an advantage. Sobczak gets into the corner a little bit deeper, but I believe Sam Oliver is going to have the run off the corner, and that he does. He will take the position and move Sam Oliver into the 3rd spot. And here comes Wesley Pistol trying to pounce on Sobczak as well, and he's going to move past him.
Yeah, I think Sobczak just let... no, never mind. I think Sobczak just let Pistol go so that they didn't battle too long and lose too much ground like what Patrick did earlier. As you can see, Ellis Thomas and James Suggs are closing up on them as we speak. And there's a slow car in front of Oliver and Pistol, but he gets down out of the way and they make it by cleanly.
And that was Eric Kalaga. He just let the leaders go by as well. Deweese actually got a little, nearly got the wall. But I can't really complain. Oh, never mind. He just hit the wall. He just bounced off the wall. But he appears to be okay. That must have been another jinx.
That's what I was talking about earlier, is how long can he keep up his pace without the tire falling off too much. And he did move up the track in 3 and 4 last time, and that seemed to bite him, so he went back down towards the middle lane that time, and he stayed clean. So he does have lap traffic in front of him that he's going to have to get by. There's 2 cars side by side, so that's going to hold him up for just a moment here.
And Chris Smith gained a ton of ground that last lap, but he's got to split the lap cars here, and that he does. He will get around the 42 of Paul Thomas. Oh, and Daniel Berg, he bounces off the wall.
Keeps it straight, though, so we're staying green. But yeah, Chris Smith is closing in on Deweese here as the run goes on and lap traffic becomes a factor.
And Chris Smith, I would say, is the quintessential long-run driver. So we'll see if Deweese is able to, like you said, maintain this pace, but hitting the wall is definitely not recommended.
Yeah, he just brushed it a little bit. There's not even really any paint scraped off his car, so it shouldn't be affecting him too much, but the reason why he got into the wall might be affecting him if that right front seems to be going away, which he does seem to be slowing down just a little bit here, but he's still a bit faster than what... no, he was actually slower than Chris that last time, so he is just slightly slower than Chris, but they're within 1/100 of a second of each other. But Chris, that's a big gap on a short track like this. As you can see, Chris is closing. He's within a car length now.
And Tony, we have something frying on the racetrack, and it is the tires on the number 9 of Patrick Colby. He has fallen like a rock to 12th spot, and what is going on?
He was complaining about not being able to save tires before the race, so this long run, which we're already on lap 56 after those first 2 cautions, these laps are going down quickly, so yeah, Patrick's just probably struggling. He was pushing too hard at the beginning, I assume, and he's paying for it now, so he's definitely hoping we get a caution. As Smith keeps getting closer and closer to Deweese for the lead here, and out of nowhere, here comes Oliver and Pistol. They have caught these two in a flash the last couple laps. Oliver is running the high line. He's going to try to pass both of them here, as there's 2 lap cars in front of these guys as well.
I was about to say, it's heating up front as well, and Deweese and Smith have invited everyone into the party. We'll see if they're able to capitalize. As you said, lap traffic could be a factor, especially off turn number, especially coming off 4 and car on the wall. 43 car rushes the wall in front track. That's Matt Sheriff. And Matt Sheriff was up as high as 10th earlier, and he has also fallen like a rock. Now he's
Deweese brushes the wall again in 3 and 4 there, and just like that, we've got 4 cars on top of each other for the lead, 60 laps into the race.
And now Wesley Pistol moves around the 28 of Smith, and he will take the 3rd spot.
And you can see the rotors on these cars are glowing as they're using those brakes pretty heavily, and Oliver got a huge run out of 4 there. He's going to try to take it out of 2. He's underneath them exiting the corner, and Pistol joined the party. He's right there behind them.
And Deweese is going to hold on to the car, but he's not going to hold on to the lead. We have a new leader, Sam Oliver, here on lap 63.
And he did get the lap lead too, so he's the first car to lead a lap outside of Deweese, and that will give him a bonus point for leading a lap as well. And here comes Pistol to the inside of Deweese for 2nd.
And Johnny Rapp, despite being involved in both of the cautions in this race, he has moved his way into the top 10. He is running in the 8th position. And Chase Berry, making his first start of the Apex Energy Summer Throwback Series season, is right behind him, and now he is not, because the number 5 has moved past Rapp for the 8th spot, moved Rapp back to 9th, and Jeff Taylor is looking to make a move around Rapp as well, but he's not going to be able to get the run off the corner.
And Pistol just cleared Deweese on the backstretch there, and he shut the door on Deweese, trying to look back underneath him in through 3 and 4. So that means Deweese has fallen down to third, and he's under fire from Chris Smith now for third.
And also going back to Ben Pease, if our fans were listening early on, he did make some heavy contact with the outside retaining wall. He has now fallen 2 laps down.
He's looking to just try to keep it as clean as possible the rest of the race and hope some cautions help him out, I'm sure. As we have another lapper, Daniel Berg has gone another lap down. He's right in front of the battle here for third. But up front, Sam Oliver he's dealing with traffic as well. And there's Patrick Colby. He was up in the top 3 early in this race, and now he's being put a lap down. He is in 12th place. So up to 12th place is a lap down now. So 11 cars on the lead lap as we are on lap 69 of 200.
So tire management has definitely played a major factor here in this race so far, Tony. And what can these drivers do to save tires here, Bristol? What do some of these drivers need to do better?
Well, a lot of it is trying not to go as hard on them when they're cold so that you don't take all the good out of them before they warm up, because once they warm up they stabilize out, and that's when you can get a longer run out of them, which it seems to be what Oliver and Pistol did. They were taking it a little easier in the beginning of the race, and look at where they're at now. They're battling each other for the lead with a second and a quarter gap over third place here as we're taking lap 72 out of 200.
And the interesting part of... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
On the interesting part about Sam Oliver's running, he didn't have the best qualifying run, but he was also able to move through the field without cooking his tires. That would, from my perspective, make his run, carry more weight as far as being impressive is concerned.
Yeah, that's the other part. You gotta know how to get through traffic and when to make moves so that you don't hurt yourself just picking up a spot. Because, yeah, like we talked about, if we get a long green flag run like this, then it's going to really change how everything goes, as Oliver gets loose going into 1 and he brushes the wall as well, which gives Pistol a shot to make the pass here as he's inside him down the backstretch and into 3, going around a lapper.
Oh, and Oliver got loose again.
Yeah, but he was able to get the run out of the quarter and pull ahead of Pistol, so he's able to hang on to the spot, but he definitely had to earn it that last lap or 2.
It appeared that Oliver had a slight hesitation, as if he thought Pistol was about to get into his left rear, but that slight hesitation actually was able to get him an advantage over Pistol. And it appears he's also moved up on the high lane. That has given him some new life, and thought he was about to hit the wall there, but Pistol is closing back in, Tony.
Yeah, they just went by Matt Scherf again, so yeah, once you lose a lap here, you kind of just start falling behind if you're not able to keep up pace. So a lot of these guys are hoping for a caution or multiple cautions if they're a couple laps down, or they just kind of want this to go green until pit stops and then try to get a lap back and then have a caution come out. But we got about 100 laps. We got 90 to 100 laps before the fuel run, and Pistol gets contact with a lapper and he gets turned around. He gets big crash. Huge crash on the front stretch here as a lot of cars pile in.
And Chris Smith is involved. Oh my goodness. And Braxton Deweese.
A lot of your top runners here got a lot of damage, and Chris Smith is missing his right front wheel, so he's gonna have heavy damage there. Let's try to take a look at this here. Again, we did catch it live, but it was real quick.
It looks like Wesley Pistol pulled down in front of Ben Keys. There was nothing Keys could have done. Keys held his line.
He was trying to stay down out of the way, and Pistol just came down, and then there's nowhere for a lot of people to go because this track, you can't see half the track in front of you because of how tight these corners are and how fast you're running. So there's a lot of guys that just had nowhere to go, and when they saw it, it was too late and they're at full speed, and we had a lot of heavy damage there among 4 or 5 cars. So that's gonna really change the complexion of this race here. as everybody looks like they're coming down. Nope, we do have some people staying out, but a lot of people are coming. It looks like the top 2 are staying out. Deweese, who did get in then, you can see has got some front end damage. He's staying out. So the top 2 are staying out. Everyone else is coming down pit road. And while people are coming down pit road, we will take a quick commercial break here, and we will catch you guys back up in just a minute.
Welcome back to the Sim Racing Tech 200 here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and a massive 6-car incident here at Bristol involving at least 2 of our points leaders. Going into this race, Chris Smith and Braxton Deweese were tied for the points lead, but they were both involved in this wreck. Started when Wesley Pistol came down on the lap car of Ben Keese. They both went around, and unfortunately, a lot of drivers were collected. Braxton Deweese received heavy damage. Chris Smith, Eric Kalaga was involved. As we're back underway.
And everybody did, and everyone did end up going down pit road. It looked like the top couple of guys didn't catch the pit lane open windows, so they had to come down the next lap, and that's why they're towards the back here. But James Sugg restarted as your leader. He started on the high side, and he jumped out to a good, nice lead. And Ellis Thomas, who restarted second, is right there with him. And then there's a big gap back to third place of Chase Berry, Johnny Rapp, and all of them as they're battling. But there goes Ellis Thomas for the lead out of 4. Suggs just gives it to him, and new leader yet again.
And the boss man moves to the lead, and also we failed to mention Matt Sheriff was also involved in that incident. So we'll see how it all plays out. But Chris Smith, I'm afraid, is definitely not going to win this race. Heavy contact. Unfortunate because he was having a great run. 28 is in the garage and probably done for the night.
He was having a really good night again, and yeah, he just had the whole right front ripped off his car in that situation. Unfortunate, but look who's up to third here. Johnny Rapp, who was involved in the first 2 cautions and had some heavy nose damage. He's up to third, and here comes Sam Oliver, who was your leader before that caution. He's up to 4th again.
And James Suggs brushed the wall there on backstretch. See if that affects him. And he nearly got the wall again as Johnny Rapp takes the spot. Suggs trying to fight back, and he nearly makes contact with Sam Oliver. And somehow Braxton Deweese, he can hit just about anything on the racetrack and still have a chance to win. He has some damage in the front end at number 15, but he is still in contention, running into top 5. Unreal.
And luckily for him, it's a short track, so that that parachute in his front left nose under his hood there isn't going to be too much of a factor. But he's still got to make up some time here, as he is in 5th, but he's 3 seconds behind the leader here.
And James Ledford got the wall on the previous lap, but he's still hanging tough. He's trying to make the high line work.
And he's under attack from Scott Sobczak, who was running up front earlier in the race as well, and then he started falling off. But we'll see if he can last a little longer here on this run if it stays green. He makes his way up to 6th there, hitting by Ledford. But as I said up front, it's still Ellis Thomas, who's up to a 3/4 of a second lead over second. And then Johnny Rapp in second is pulled away from Sam Oliver a little bit again as well. So we got a little bit of a gap between the top 3.
And Wesley Pistol restarted 11th on that restart after being issued the EOL for that accident, but he's already back up to the 7th spot. So he still has a chance to make some moves.
And after that caution, we have 11 people in the lead lap. We have one car, the 50 of Brandon Waldrop, 1 lap down, and then we got a handful of people 2 laps down. Otherwise, everyone else is, like I said, on the lead lap, and then a couple of cars who are off the track and possibly out of the race with Chris Smith and Ben Keese, who had the worst of the damage in that caution.
And meanwhile, Scotty Sobczak has had a very interesting race. He hasn't, been up front a ton, but he also hasn't been running too far in the back. He's having a respectable run in the 6th position, but he's closing in on Braxton DeWeese for the 5th spot.
He's been trying to pass DeWeese all race, it seems like. Earlier in the race that was for the lead, now they're battling for 5th. We'll see how this goes throughout the run.
And, that last caution, that big wreck was a huge break for Patrick Colby. He's back on the lead lap. And, perhaps he has some coaches telling him how to save tires, because that last run was brutal for Patrick Colby. But he has another chance to prove his worth.
Yeah, I'm sure he's extremely happy the caution came out and got him on the lead lap. And he's going to try to save tires better this run, but we'll see how it goes. He's not pushing as hard as the first run, it looks like, so that's hopefully going to help him out this run.
And as Ellis Thomas crossed the start-finish line, we are officially halfway into Sim Racing Tech 200. Let's take a look at the top 10. Of course, the boss man, Ellis Thomas, leading the race. Johnny Rapp, who has rebounded.
Sam Oliver just passed him for 2nd, actually. Sorry.
There we go. So move Sam Oliver to 2nd, Johnny Rapp 3rd, James Suggs in 4th, Braxton DeWeese in 5th, but also under attack by the 6th place car of Scotty Sobczak. Wesley Pistol is back in the top 10, and then rounding out the remainder of the top 10, we have Patrick Colby, James Ledford, and Jeff Taylor.
And nearly all of them have pretty clean cars, which is definitely a huge bonus in getting a nice top 10 finish. Obviously, there's a couple of cars up there who, despite having damage, are really fast and able to stay up front or get moved back towards the front. So you definitely see who's taking care of their stuff out there tonight. And over the last, once Sam Oliver passed Johnny Rapp, Ellis Thomas's lead was a 2nd. Now it's down to just over half a second over Sam Oliver. So Sam Oliver is definitely trying to get back to the lead here and run away with this, as he was starting to do before that caution came out.
And Sam Oliver has cut into that lead of Ellis Thomas from 0.8 of a second down to 6. And it seems like Oliver is slowly but surely reeling in that number 8 car.
Yeah, but Ellis is also doing a pretty good job of running really consistent. He's just a little bit slower than what Oliver is, but he's still running consistent times. So hopefully that's saving his tires a bit better than what we've seen other people pushing up the front have been. But
and James Suggs nearly spun coming off turn 4. He got into turn number 2 a little bit too deep, nearly got into Rapp, and then nearly did it again in turn number 4. And then it looked like to me that, Rapp kind of got right on that right door and kind of sucked it and sucked him around as the caution comes out. And it is for Matt Sheriff.
43. Yep, the 43 of Matt Sheriff. So let's take a look at this.
And it
just
looks
a moment.
And it looks like
Oh, look.
him and Eric Kalaga were nearly side by side there. It looked like Kalaga came down and Sheriff came up. They were both fighting for the same piece of real estate, and one car paid the price, and unfortunately, it was the 43.
Yeah, he just didn't quite clear Kalaga. I think he thought he was going to, but he just didn't quite do it, and because of that, oh, sorry about that. Trying to get the right camera for you guys here. Doesn't look like we have that camera, so we'll just watch this here again from Kalaga's point of view. If there you go. Yeah, Kalaga just. Yeah, he had a little bit of room he could have went up on, but Sheriff just thought he was going to clear him and didn't quite clear him. He didn't have the run, and it was just a racing deal. Unfortunately for Sheriff, he like you said, he paid the price for it more. Yeah, that brings out our fourth caution of the night here.
And we have contact under yellow, and it's the 43. Matt Sheriff got into the back of Eric Kalanga under yellow, sent him a little message that he didn't appreciate that. And it looks like he's thinking about hitting him again, and here we go. Another bump. Both these guys are scored multiple laps down, and the 43 is saying hello. How are you doing?
I don't think Racing Control is going to be happy with that, unfortunately, for Sheriff. So he might just add to his pain here under this caution. Unfortunate for him.
But speaking of which, we had some very interesting strategies. Ellis Thomas and Johnny Rapp stay out, and the rest go down pit road.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work out for those two, because we've been getting some longer green flag runs, and if we have that again, then they're probably going to fall like a rock about 10, 15, 20 laps into this run if we go longer than that. And the only real thing is they might be thinking everybody else is using up their tires, so they're trying to have extra rubber here for the end of the race. But I don't know if they're going to be able to make that pay off unless we get a little bit quicker caution and they can come down and take another set and make up for it. Because if it goes to green for too long, they're going to probably lose a lap or two, and that's going to kind of cancel out their strategy here. But you never know. But Sam, like you said, Sam Oliver is up back in third, and you said he went down pit road, and yeah, he did go down pit road. So if he's got fresh rubber, he's probably going to blow them away here on the restart. So we'll see how this goes. Ellis Thomas does take the outside line, but Ellis and Johnny have 32 lap older tires than everyone behind them. So yeah, they're gonna hope that they are able to hang on long enough to hold these guys up and wear their tires out a little bit on the beginning part. But we'll see as the pace car lights are off. They're coming through turns 3 and 4, and we're about to go green on lap 115 of 200.
To be honest, I don't think Ellis meant to stay out. I thought they were just playing some gamesmanship, and, well, we'll see how it works out. Ellis Thomas leads the field to the green flag. We're back underway. It looked like Ellis was, playing some games with Sam Oliver, but Oliver remains committed to pitting, and it looked like Ellis tried to get to pit road, actually, but it was too late. And here comes Braxton Deweese. Ellis gets into the wall, and Braxton Deweese from pit road damaged back to the lead. Call him the comeback kid. Braxton Deweese is back to the lead.
Yeah, he's the first guy on new tires now, as he was able to start behind the leader, so he had the better line on the restart than Oliver, who got stuck behind the second place guy. But Oliver does clear Ellis Thomas, and Sobzak gets loose there underneath him. And now we'll see if Oliver is able to run Deweese down again for the lead, or if Deweese is able to make up for what he did earlier in the race and just stay out front the rest of the race here.
And Patrick Colby got into the back of Johnny Rapp the previous lap, and Rapp nearly spun around. So Johnny Rapp has fallen to at least the 10th position, but he was able to save it.
Yeah, Sobzak is really struggling trying to get around Thomas here. Sobzak is on newer tires, but Ellis was able to hang on the outside for a couple laps there. Oh, and then contact between Thomas and Suggs. But Suggs and Sobczak both get by Thomas, and he's trying to follow him. Now Sobczak has a clear track, and Oliver is caught up to Deweese. Battle for the lead as he takes the outside line. He's got a huge run down the backstretch.
And Oliver nearly got the wall going into 3, but he was able to hold on to it, make that high lane work. And new leader, Sam Oliver, is back to the front.
And here comes Sobczak. He's caught them. We'll see if he's able to make the pass on...
Big wreck. Daniel Berg's involved. Brandon Waldrop cautions out, and Paul Thomas nearly gets a piece of that. Let's take a look at the replay.
Okay. Again, we have to do it manually. And oh, looks like Berg just got loose on the bottom. He tried to save it, and he just came up right in front of Waldrop and got some heavy nose damage on Waldrop's car, but not too much outside of that. It was just a 2-car incident. Unfortunately, it brings out another caution, but that's going to probably help Ellis and Johnny a lot because they're going to most likely come down pit road to this caution.
And the 88 car was really out of control just over the last 2 laps, really struggling with loose condition and going into it. Just looked like his car was just chattering throughout, and unfortunately ended up spinning out.
Well,
that's the wall earlier in the race, so there's a possibility that that pre-existing damage may have done some more damage to that number 88.
Well, the other factor is on new, fresh, cold tires, trying to hold the bottom line. It's a lot slicker down there, especially with the rubber up top. So, or the groove up top. So he was probably just trying to hang on down there, trying to stay out of the way, but it just snapped on him, as you saw, and he just overcorrected and came up in front of the field, and we got another caution out of it.
Wesley Pistol also issued an apology over chat. Not sure what he's referring to, but perhaps we can take a look at what happened during that last run. I don't think he got into anybody, but I could be wrong.
And Johnny Rapp and Ellis Alves do both come down pit road. So did Chase Berry. I'm not sure who else all did. I don't think anyone else did. But those three came down pit road, so that most likely will put Ellis Thomas and Johnny Rapp on fresh tires, so they are back in relative sequence with everyone else. They got 12 lap newer tires than the rest of the field.
And that could pay big dividends if we have a long green flag run. But Tony, this is Bristol, and we typically don't see long green flag runs here.
No, but we've had a couple 30, 40 lap runs in this race, so we can definitely get that out of it, but this is also the last half of the race, so people are probably going to be more aggressive, and we might do more contact, which will lead to more cautions. Or maybe they're going to spread out because the faster guys are up front, they might just pull away. But again, Thomas and Rapp have fresh tires, and Barry came down as well, so he might have some fresh tires. Everyone can definitely make it on fuel down the rest of the race. So we're not going to see anybody pit unless they get into a spin or it's a later race caution and they want to get some rubber to try to make up some ground. The lights are off on the pace car. They're coming down the backstretch, and we will restart on lap 127 here once we get to the line. And your leader is Sam Oliver, and he takes the outside line here.
And Braxton Deweese has probably been the best driver on restarts in this race. We will see if he is able to duplicate that success as the pace car makes the hard left turn. Sam Oliver will lead the field to the green flag, but this time it is Sam Oliver who gets the big jump. But Braxton Deweese is right there. Let's see what happens in turn number 1. And Deweese gets a big run coming out of turn number 2, and he's going to clear Sam Oliver and take the lead, but Oliver is not giving up.
And here goes Patrick Colby and Scott Sobczak. They get a hard run into the corners as well. Yeah, but Deweese does pull to a few car lengths lead. Oliver is able to get out of the corner a lot faster. He gets a big run down the front stretch here. We'll see what he does in 1 and 2.
And watch Oliver on the high side. That has been his bread and butter all race long. And here he comes.
He gets a little loose going into 3, but he's able to walk it up the track, and he gets a big run out of 4 there.
Take the lead,
Patrick
and here comes Patrick Colby.
If Colby followed him, he was able to keep Deweese on the bottom line there, exiting 4, so that slowed Deweese up.
And Ellis Thomas on fresh tires, he got into the wall on the backstretch. But he is still coming and charging hard. He just took 6th from James Ledford, and he's about to crack the top 5. And he's underneath the number 20 of James Suggs. They will be side by side at the line, but it won't be a contest as they go into turn number 1.
Yeah, Suggs just isn't getting the run out of the corner that someone like Oliver is getting on the high side, so Ellis will get around him, and he will try to pull away and catch the top 4. Patrick Colby in second is running the low line, while Oliver's running the middle high line.
And while we were briefly away, Ben Keast did get into the wall and off turn number 4, nearly got into Matt Sheriff, but no caution. We are still green.
Well, it looked like Ellis was almost about to run over Sobzak on the area 3, and he had to get the brakes hard and he went up the track pretty far, but now he's going to make a big run out of 2 here. He's going to try to pass Sobzak down the backstretch.
And he will get the job done as he goes into turn number 3. Sobzak is fighting hard in the bottom, but it's not able to stick.
It looked like he got a little loose at 1 there as well, but Ellis Thomas already cleared him down the front stretch, and he's going to try to do the same thing for 3rd here with Deweese coming out of turn 4. He gets to his outside, and he's going to clear him now. He's going to try to clear him, but he's going to have Patrick Colby in his way. So we'll see if he tries to go to the inside. He stays up high. Patrick gets out of the way. That did slow Thomas down a little bit, but he's going to...
Oh, and he smacked the wall hard down the front stretch. He hits the wall again in turn number 1. Here comes Braxton Deweese. He thought about making it 3 wide.
I was going to say hit the wall out of 4 didn't slow him down any, but it did settle his car going into 1, so he hit the wall again. But he does clear. He is up to 2nd, but with that situation, Oliver was able to pull a few tenths ahead, so he got a half-second lead now as Ellis Thomas moves into 2nd here. And now Deweese goes to the high side to see if he can make those runs off the corner work, and he gets a really big run to clear Colby there. And James Suggs is back in the picture as he's passing Sobzak for 5th.
He's also trying to get around the 9 of Patrick Colby as well. They nearly made contact down the front stretch, but Suggs has the position for now. And he went, oh, caution is out.
Know who it is?
And it's Ben Keast.
All right, let's try to...
here we go. Looks like him and Paul Thomas got together. Let's take a look.
Oh, yeah, this happened really early. Yep. Yeah, coming out of 4.
And again,
Paul
Ben
just came
Keast,
up.
the innocent victim.
Yeah, Paul just came up a little high and got into him, and then Barry spun himself out trying to miss it. Then he came back up the track and clipped Keese. So, yeah, Keese was just like, what do I got to do, man? I'm just out here riding. You guys keep hitting me. But he didn't seem to get too much damage. But that was a 3-car incident, and we are back under caution here for the 6th time tonight.
And Chase Berry with his first incident of the night. It's also his first start of the Apex Energy Summer Throwback Series. It's been kind of an up and down day for the number 5 at Chase Berry. As for Ben Keast, he's currently scored 39 laps down at the 17th position, and he's hit the wall a few times, but he's also been involved in some serious incidents, none of which have been of his own making.
And the top 6 stay out, but Patrick Colby, Scott Sobzak, they lead down pit road about 6-7 cars, so we'll see how this works out. And while we are under caution, we will take a quick commercial break here, and we'll catch you back on the other side.
How do we get these one-of-a-kind amazing trophies? Well, we were fortunate to find UD Awards when we started our league. We reached out and we connected with Christopher, and we got started designing these one-of-a-kind works of art. The process was easy from start to finish. After just a few revisions, we finalized each one of them, and the team at UD got to work building each trophy from scratch. They're a small team, but they've got the ability to do just about anything your brain can imagine. And don't worry, if you're not an artist, they've got an entire catalog of unique trophies in pretty much any material you can imagine. Wood, acrylic, glass, and in the case of last season's trophy, metal. The best part, they're affordable. If you're looking for a trophy for your event or league, the choice is simple. UD Awards can give you exactly what you want.
Are you looking for high-quality, affordable sim racing paint schemes and graphics? Then look no further than Evan at Evan Pienta Designs. Driven by speed, Evan Pienta Designs offers a multitude of sim racing graphics, from liveries to social media graphics to team and series logos. To see some of the work done by Evan, or even race one of the public liveries he's made, head on over to tradingpaints.com and search Evan Pienta.
And welcome back to the Sim Racing Tech 200 from Bristol Motor Speedway. Lap 146 of 200. Another caution just came out. It was for an incident involving Paul Thomas, Ben Keast, and Chase Berry. Paul Thomas has been issued the EOL for being the cause of that yellow. Pace car lights are off, and that means we're about to go back to green. Sam Oliver chooses the outside lane. Ellis Thomas on the inside on fresher tires. The pace car makes the hard left turn, and Oliver gets a big jump. Green flag is back out.
And it looks like Ellis Thomas might have spin his tires a little bit, or Deweese got into his rear end and got him a little squirrely. Either way,
Oliver just got a great jump. Maybe he went a little too early, but either way, Thomas was not expecting him to go that early, and for that reason, he has fallen to third. Moved James Suggs into second.
Suggs has a nice run. Thomas and Deweese squeeze at each other there up the track in 1 and 2. They almost get into each other and the wall, but Deweese is looking like he's going to make the pass here, coming out at 4.
And Thomas is technically on the fresher tires. Oh, James Suggs gets into the fence, but Thomas also got into the wall several times during the last run, so we'll see if that has an impact, and it looks like it possibly has.
Yeah, he lost a little bit of ground. It closed Deweese up too, but Deweese is going to have to pass him on the inside, which is going to be difficult. It is always difficult passing on the inside unless the outside guy kind of just lets you go. We'll see how long it takes Deweese to make that pass.
And you now have 50 laps to go here at Bristol. And Sam Oliver continues to lead the way.
We got a 3-car battle here for second, and it looks like Wesley Pistol and Scott Sobzak are trying to join it here. They're closing in ever so slowly.
And Paul Thomas and Ben Keith side by side again. This time, Thomas makes the pass and no contact made. And here comes Scotty Sobzak, and he will make the pass on Wesley Pistol for the 5th spot. So Sobzak is back in the top 5. As Braxton Deweese and James Suggs continue to battle for the 2nd spot. Suggs is holding him up for now, but nearly gets into the wall. Still making that high lane work. But for how much longer is the big question, Tony.
And with Deweese having to be on the inside, it's allowing Ellis Thomas to get to his outside, holding him down there, and Thomas is going to clear him coming out of 4 there, getting the run off the corner. So Deweese is going to lose a spot, and here comes Sobzak and Colby and Pistol. So we'll see if they're able to come join in this party. But as these guys are all battling, Oliver is gaining about half a tenth over every couple laps here. He's slowly stretching his lead out.
And Thomas was able to make that pass on Deweese despite hitting the wall the previous lap prior to making that move but he is closing in on Suggs for that second spot. And as long as he maintains his composure, I believe Thomas could have a premier chance to win this race. But we still have a long way to go. And Deweese is right on that back bumper, waiting to capitalize on any mistake that Ellis makes.
And we have 43 laps to go that time by. So there's definitely a lot that can happen, but those laps can go by really quickly if it stays green. And looks like Sobzak is trying to make that 3 wide there, but he wasn't able to get underneath, and he's definitely closing in on these guys. And Colby is following him on the bottom line there. They're making that bottom line work. And they do have fresh tires because they pit under that last caution, so they have the freshest tires out there.
And Pistol is going to make a move to the inside on Colby. And he nails the gas, but it's not enough to make it stick. He nearly makes contact with Colby.
Oh, contact between Thomas and Deweese, too. It looked like Thomas had to check up a little bit, and Deweese wasn't ready for it, and he got into the back of him a little bit and got swirly. So that's going to slow these guys down, and Sobzak is underneath Deweese now as they go down the backstretch and into turn 3.
And now Pistol is going to try the high side. And we'll see what happens coming off turn number 2. But it looks like Pistol is just stuck in that dirty air right now, Tony.
Yeah, I think he wants to run the low line, but obviously the guys in front of him are running that, so he's going to have to try to run the middle or high line to get around them. So I don't think he's quite comfortable doing that, so that's why it's taking a little long, but he does get a nice run out of 2 there. As this group of cars is starting to stack up, and now the leader is coming up on lap traffic as well. As you can see, the 85 of Ben Keast is down low. He's going to try to stay out of the way again. He stays down low in the backstretch, and he's going to let everybody by. Everybody's going to get by nice and clean.
And Pistol was able to make the pass on Colby, so move Pistol into the 6th spot. And now he's going to try to make a move on Sobzak to put himself back into the top 5. A great recovery for Wesley Pistol.
And up front, Suggs is closing in on Oliver, so we got a battle for the lead brewing again as we are on laps 166, so we got 35 laps to go.
But Oliver is a guy that tends to save his tires down the stretch of a long run. Do you believe that Oliver could be playing a little possum here? Kind of reel Suggs into a neck-and-neck battle, and when it's time to go, he puts on the afterburner, Tony.
Well, I believe they're teammates, so I think they're just going to
Wesley
work
Pistol
together.
goes around, caution is out.
Yeah, that was brewing for the last couple laps. There was some contact while you were talking about Suggs and Oliver, and there was a big move by Sobzak. There was a big move by Sobzak, and then after that, we can see Wesley just got a little loose going into the corner, and Patrick didn't have anywhere to go, so he helped him spin around, and he did a 360 and got going with not too much damage, and nobody else got involved. So that'll bring out your, I believe, your 7th caution of the night here. Yep, and, 7th caution of the night.
It must be a jinx, Tony. I was just saying, or I just said, about the great recovery Wesley Pistol has had. Unfortunately, he spins around. Thankfully for him, not too much damage and another opportunity to get some fresh tires.
Yeah, but it looks like the leaders are coming down. Sobzak is going to stay out, but Oliver, Suggs, Thomas, and Deweese are all coming down. So just those 4, followed by, the 11 and the 7 are also coming down. Jeff Taylor and Wesley Pistol. But the rest are going to stay out. So that makes Scotty Sobzak your new leader. And this will be the first laps he's able to lead tonight after battling for the lead a couple different times for quite a few laps. He's able to get a lap led under caution here, and he'll be restarting as your leader.
And 4 drivers stayed out, as you mentioned. Scotty Sobzak, obviously, is the top car. James Ledford, Patrick Colby, and Chase Berry decided to stay out. An interesting...
and Johnny Rapp and Brandon Waldrop did as well.
And it's an interesting move for Colby specifically because he received some damage from that accident. But with just over 30 laps to go, we'll see if Sam Oliver can come through the field once again, as he has done multiple times in this race.
We'll see if Braxton DeWeese and Ellis Thomas can come through the field again as well. Ellis did it twice tonight also, and DeWeese has done it a few times in a couple different races this season. So, but Sobzak is a pretty fast guy out there as well, and now that he's got the lead, we'll see if he can pull away from everyone. He's had trouble getting around people for the lead, but once he's out in front, he might be able to just walk away with it. We'll see. We only have 30 laps to go right now, and we'll be restarting with about 28 laps to go. So he's not going to have to hold on for too long.
This was also a great opportunity, Tony, for Ellis Thomas to come to pit road and also get a little bit of that optional repairs done, because he had hit the wall several times during that last run. So if there was any damage, he probably got most of it fixed while he was on pit road.
Yeah, definitely, and the same with Braxton and Suggs, who both got in the wall a couple times as well under that run. But they're lining up double file, so we are on 1 to green. Lights are out on the pace car. Scotty Sobzak is going to choose the inside line. This will be the first time someone's restarted as the leader on the inside since the start of the race. So we'll see how this goes. And that James Ledford will be restarting second, Patrick Colby third, Chase Berry fourth, and Johnny Rapp rounds out your top 5. And those are the 5 cars that stayed out as well.
Old tires versus new tires. What will prevail? We will find out. Green flag is back out. Scotty Sobzak gets a good jump, but Patrick Colby does as well. As they come down the backstretch, looks like all the drivers are getting in clean. Braxton DeWeese got into the back of Ellis Thomas again, coming out of 4. They keep it straight.
There's a big stack up here for third on back.
And James Suggs
gets at the back. Oh, big check up. That's going to bring out another caution here.
And James Suggs got into the back of James Ledford and didn't even lift and just spun him around. And Ellis Thomas, chain reaction, got into the back of James Suggs. Chase Berry may have gotten there, but no. Short track
that
racing.
That was a factor of old tires being up high and trying to stay off the wall, and then new tires right behind him getting a nice run, and then contact on the straightaway. It turned into bumper cars, and it looked like only 2 cars were spun out in it, but obviously Ellis Thomas got some damage as well. It doesn't look to be too bad. So 3 cars involved damage-wise, 2 cars in the spin, and we are under our 8th caution here.
And I think, obviously we're getting close to the end of the race. Hot tempers kind of got the best there. James Ledford obviously was on older tires. James Suggs was on new tires. He got into the back of them. But at the same time, if people are criticizing Suggs for not lifting, you have to realize this is Bristol. We're coming near the end of the race. I remember, watching, a cup race back in 06. I remember when Jeff Gordon got into the back of Martin Truex, and they had a discussion about it, and Gordon said, if you can't check up, because, when you have 43 cars inches away from your bumper, you can't check up, and especially at the end of this race, the last thing these guys are going to do is lift, and unfortunately,
it's not just tempers. It's like you said, those guys are on new tires, and they got to make up as many spots as they can as quickly as they can. So they're pushing issues, and we're under 25 laps to go, so. You got to make up as many spots as you can when you can if you want to come away with this win, which those guys have been battling for the lead the last 60 laps or so, or in contention for the lead the last 60 laps. So they definitely wanted to get back up there on fresh tires, and it's just a racing deal. It's unfortunate, especially for Ledford, who was the highest he was running all night and was hoping to come away with a nice solid finish, and got the worst of it, unfortunately. But see if he can rebound from this after getting some damage fixed probably, and getting fresh tires if he had a set left. And we're going to be restarting here in a couple laps, and it'll be around 20 laps to go.
I'm willing to beg to differ on that. James Suggs has exited the server, so I think he got the worst of it because, well, Letford is probably going to get a better finish than the guy that spun him out. So we will see what happens. Ellis Thomas was the driver who got into the back of Suggs right when that accident was taking place. But he's
gonna be restarting third, and he's got about 30. He's got 26 lap newer tires than the two in front of him. But Braxton DeWeese is gonna be restarting fourth, and he's on the same set of tires as Ellis Thomas. So third and fourth are significantly more grip than the top two. But we'll see how they're able to hold them off on the restart here, if they are able to hold them off for a little bit, as we're coming to green this time by.
As I was saying, Ellis Thomas is the highest running car on fresh tires. So we'll see if cooler heads prevail, but Scotty Sobczak, he's great in clean air. And it looks like we are going to go green this time by, as you said. And here we go. Green flag's back out.
The top two got a nice restart there, but Luis is closing in fast here. He's going to try to jump to the outside here and make the pass up high. We'll see if Sobczak throws a block. He does move up a little bit.
And Luis is going to get it. He gets into the back.
Oh, he gets in the bumper.
Sobczak.
He keeps it straight, but he did some heavy damage out of that as Luis gets in the back of him going into turn one. Luis keeps it straight himself and is about 0.6 of a second lead over second place now.
And Luis just had a great run, and Sobczak kind of made a late block, and they made contact. Can't really put the blame on Luis there.
And Oliver has moved up to second now as well as he goes around Colby, and Ellis Thomas is going to follow him. We'll see if Sam Oliver has enough time to run down Luis for the win here, as we're on lap 183 of 200, coming to 184 this time by. So 17 laps to go, and Sam Oliver is 0.6 of a second behind.
But as we saw in our last race that aired 2 weeks ago, late in the race, Braxton DeWeese made a block, and unfortunately it did not pay off on the last lap. So if Sam Oliver closes in on him, and it appears that he is, we will see if DeWeese tries to make any last-second moves, as he did a few weeks ago.
And it is short-tracked, and as you saw with Luis and Sobczak, bumpers are fair play. So we'll see if Oliver has to give him the bumper, if they pass cleanly, or if Luis is able to hold them off and come in with the win.
Oh, Oliver got the wall there coming off four. We'll see if that affected him, but he gained a ton of ground there on that last low, and he nearly got the wall again. Oliver,
he's really pushing hard.
Race.
Yeah, he's definitely trying his hardest to get up to him so he can try to take the lead here before too long. Because he doesn't want to. If he has to fight him, he wants to have as many laps as possible so he can get around him before it's over. And they have quite a bit of a gap. They have about a second gap over third place of Ellis Thomas.
And Oliver's right there, Tony.
Yep, and we got 12 laps to go. And DeWeese is definitely going to try to take the high line away, because that's obviously Oliver's strongest line, and it's the preferred line for anybody because you get the better run. Oh, they almost made contact. DeWeese tried to close the door on him a little bit. Oliver gave him the room, but I don't think that's going to be the same result if this happens again in a handful of laps. Oliver is trying to stay clean here as he tries to also get by him. Luis is doing a really good job holding him off. And like I said, he's going to stay up high so he can take the line away from Oliver. They make a little bit more contact there coming out of four.
Yeah, and to me, it seems like Sam Oliver is giving him a warning, like, I'm here. Don't make any mistakes.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to put as much pressure on him as possible, try to get him to mess up on his own. I don't think Oliver wants to give him the bumper. I think he wants to try to earn it cleanly or have Luis make the mistake as he pulls his inside, exiting two there side by side, all the way down the backstretch. Oliver
They're
has
going
a
to be side
nice
by side
run.
at the line.
Deweese hits the
Deweese
wall
hits
out
the
of
wall.
4.
Deweese hits the wall, but he is still fighting hard on the high side. They're going to be side by side down the backstretch. Deweese still has the advantage. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that outside line is really strong if you're able to keep your momentum going, even if you hit the wall. But
Oh, they make contact. Oliver got a little loose and got into Deweese's left door. And they are still in the gas. This is the best sim racers in the world. And as we said earlier, 146,000 streaming virtual fans in the stands. It's
a little bit of contact
more
again
contact.
there. He's letting him know that he's still there. He doesn't want to let Deweese get too comfortable out there.
And Deweese got a little bit loose going into the corner. Here they come off 4.
Oliver
led
leads that lap. 4 to go.
This is an instant classic. Oliver, they made a little bit of contact. Here they come off turn number 4. We have 3 laps to go. Who is going to win it here in Bristol? Deweese again gets a little bit loose.
Yeah, I think Oliver just barely squeezed out that lap as well. So if that was the last lap, Oliver would have won it. Looks like Oliver is going to prevail here, and Deweese is going to have to try to come back on him here as they come 2 to go. Deweese is going to have to try to pull back ahead here, find a way back around.
And Deweese had to check up a little bit. I'm not sure why, but it could be that his tires are a little bit worn out. As we come to the white flag, 1 lap to go here at Bristol.
And Oliver's pulling away now. He's stretching that lead out, so it looks like he's going to probably be able to come away with this comfortably. Yep, it looks like Oliver's going to hang on nicely. Oliver's going to win after about 10-lap battle there with Deweese. Really hard fought. He definitely earned it. They both earned their finishes.
That was an instant classic. Sam Oliver wins the Sim Racing Tech 200 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And once again, Braxton Deweese, the comeback kid, was involved in a serious accident and somehow, some way, in some shape or form, roars back to have a great finish. Second place, Ellis Thomas third. Johnny Rapp involved in 2 wrecks earlier in the race. Roars back to get 4th. Scotty Sobczak was involved in an accident about 10 laps ago, was able to finish in 5th. And Patrick Colby, James Ledford, another great run for James as he came back from a crash to finish 7th. Chase Berry recovered from a spin. I mean, a lot of guys were involved in wrecks today, let's be real. Eric Kalaga in 9th. He was involved in a serious crash, and Brandon Waldrop rounds out the top 10. It was just a topsy-turvy race, but Tony, that's exactly what we expected.
Yeah, we had both. We had a decent number of cautions, about what you would hope for in the 8 to 10 range. I think we only had 8, but we also had three long green flag runs of 30, 40 plus laps, especially we had a 20 lap run there at the end to the end, and the last 10 laps or so were door to door for the lead and the win, and they kept it nice and clean, and we had a great finish out of it. And we will get to your top 3 finishers here in just a moment. We're waiting on second place finisher. We got first and third in the waiting room. With that, though, you want to take Ellis Thomas, your third place finisher?
Let's do it.
All right, just a moment. Let me get it set up. There we go. Ellis Thomas, you're the booth. You got a copy.
Hey, you got a copy, guys.
It's the boss man, Ellis Thomas, with a 3rd place finish. How's it going, Ellis? Congratulations on the bronze medal. It was quite a race out there. Tell us about everything, because we saw just about everything here tonight.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm really sweaty. That was a tough race there at the end, but it was I think we went through different phases of figuring out where the car was going to run better, where the speed was going to be, what the race line was going to be, and I think people chose different strategies earlier in the race. I was trying to run the middle and save tires. I felt like I was better on a longer run, but not by enough to make a difference. So I, especially towards the end, I kind of had to shift up towards the top just to pass cars. Considering I had to come through the field a couple of times just because of pit strategy. I think I got off sequence the first time by, which ended up being fine. I don't think it impacted me too bad over the course of the race, but it was a good race for the Apex Energy Thunderbird.
And tell us about, you had a couple brushes with the wall when you had an advantage on tires. Were you just overdriving the corner a little bit, trying to get every inch you could, and just got into the wall? Tell us how you were able to recover from that.
Yeah, I think I was pushing it too hard, and my teammate Chris Smith was kind of watching. He got taken out a little bit earlier, and he was just kind of telling me maybe turning in a little bit late. So I kind of corrected that and ended up being okay. I think that these cars can take a little bit more damage than the trucks. And Tony, and that I like to hit the wall a little bit. So these cars are definitely more forgiving than the trucks or a lot of the other cars are.
Awesome. Well, just want to say congratulations. I think this is the first time we've actually spoken voice to voice, but it's cool to have you in the top 3 finisher list for the first time in the Apex Energy Summer Throwback Series. So again, congratulations, and we will see you soon.
Hey, it's awesome to talk to you guys. And real quick, you got to give me sponsor shout outs. I got to plug our league sponsors.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Apex Energy is on the car. They make this series possible. They're awesome. Great product. Clean energy. No crashes like a lot of energy drinks give you. ApexEnergyDrink.com. Use code Slingshot10 to get a 10% discount on your next order. So thank you for them. Thank you for everybody else. Team 53, Evan Pienta Designs, Sim Racing Tech. We're doing a giveaway for them. One of our drivers is going to get some LED lights for their sim rig tonight. UD Awards and Sim Racing Concepts, which is the new partner of ours that makes great button boxes. So I think I got them all in there. And thank you to you guys for the great job that you guys do week in and week out.
Well, thank you for
the opportunity. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you for putting this on, and thank you for actually having a really great race out there. There were a couple times thought you had it tonight.
It's it's about time.
Hopefully, nothing too bad happened to you. You didn't have too bad of luck, and hopefully next week we get to talk to you again up here. And again, congrats, and have a good one, man.
Thanks, guys.
That was your 3rd place finisher of Ellis Thomas. We will bring up your 2nd place finisher of Braxton DeWeese here in just a moment. Braxton, you're in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, obviously it's not quite the finish you wanted, but you had to again come back from a couple of things that were not quite in your control, and you had a really strong car the night. I think you led the most laps. If not, you were right up there with it. How are you feeling, and is there really much else you could have done there at the end to come away with the win?
I'm just kind of disappointed how that ended, and I felt like I could have definitely saved my tires and ran the middle line there after that, that last restart to try to save my tires a little bit. I was out there in the lead with the clean air, so I should just use that to my advantage and, run the middle line to save my tires a little bit more, kind of stepped on it, letting Sam, catch me and pass me there on the bottom. So, I had a quick car at the beginning, but I didn't really feel like I had a quick car on the long run. I ran 12 to 1. I bet Sam did as well, or if he didn't, then he was just quicker in general. But the 12 to 1 felt quicker, like on the early run, but I didn't really know how the 14 was going to be. I felt like it was going to be a little too much turning, but I felt like I would have been able to be in victory lane if I would have saved a little bit there at the end. But it is what it is, and we got a 2nd place. That's good. We got a good point stay with a couple extra bonus points, being on the pole, leading the lap, and leading most laps. So,
your main competitor, unfortunately, in the same wreck you got caught up in, ended his night. So that helped you in the points as well. So
yeah, I seen that, and he didn't lead a lap, so he didn't get extra point for that. So that kind of hurts even more. So, it's even just a little point will do everything with. I mean, we were separated by 9 points throughout the top 6 or something like that. Either way, it's just, that's really close on points after 3 races. So it's still going to be close. If I skimmed over the standings and how the points format works. And if I did my math right, I'm about a point, if not tied, or a couple points in the lead. But we'll see what they come up with. And either way, we're going to have to go to next week and try to get one spot better.
All right. Is there anyone you want to shout out or thank before you head out here tonight and celebrate your second place finish?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a sponsor on the car of Bennett's Publical. Ben over there, he helps me out, and we all kind of help each other out. Like I said before, I don't know if it's been on this broadcast, but other broadcasts, my dad helps him out at Bennett's, which is his food place. So we all kind of helping each other out here, which that's kind of like what we like doing around here. So big shout out to him. Also want to give a shout out to James on Main. Allen's Arts Images, Blaze Designs, Unrivaled Photography, Martin Sports, Scott Martin Judgment Auto Group, Bennett's Publical, like I said, Hayden's Race Day Replicas, 3Y TV. They're coming on for an associate in another league, so look forward to that. The Premier Group, and everybody else that helps out and tunes in. I appreciate it. Wish we could have got one spot better there. We were close, just a couple laps short there. So hopefully we can be in victory lane and have a little bit better of a night. But we still got second, so we'll just move on next week.
Well, you definitely
Ben
earned
Braxton,
your...
do you think that the Comeback Kid name is a good nickname for you, considering that it just seems like you could hit just about anything on the racetrack, whether it be a tank, the inside wall, the outside wall, cars, and somehow you're still able to come through the field and get a good finish?
I mean, whatever y'all like and whatever just works the best, I'm cool with. I'm just gonna keep trying to go out there and win and see what we can do.
Sounds good, man. Congratulations again, and we will see you next week.
I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one, man. That was your second place finisher, Braxton Deweese, and we'll bring your winner up here tonight. Sam Oliver, you're in the booth. You got a copy.
Gotcha, man.
And Sam, congratulations, your second win, the Apex Energy Summer Throwback Series season, and that was an instant classic between you and Braxton Deweese. Tell us what was going through your mind as you guys, made contact, bounced off of each other, and somehow you guys were still able to keep it straight and have a great finish.
Yeah, it was just a ton of fun. Real pleasure to race with Braxton up there. I mean, I think we were side by side for 5 or 6 laps there. I had passed him once or maybe twice tonight earlier in the race on the outside. So he was protecting that. So I knew if I was going to get it done, it had to be, middle to inside. And that's my options. That's what I did and worked out.
And obviously this was a tumultuous race, just wrecks all over the racetrack. I think you may have gotten some damage in a previous wreck, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong.
I didn't have much damage. I think I missed a shift at some point. Somebody rear-ended me on a restart, but that didn't really affect the car. No, what happened, me and Wesley had such a big lead, and the caution came out, and I should have just stopped on the racetrack and waited for the pace car. By the time he caught up to me, I'd already passed pit entry, so I pitted with the lap cars early in the race and had to bounce back from that. So I think that might be what you're referencing.
Well, you were the only one that had to deal with that. I believe Ellis and Johnny had that on the next caution. They had to wait a lap to come down, so kind of even that out for you. And how did you feel about that last battle? Because that was about 10 plus laps there, and I know you guys got close and you may have touched a little bit. Were you gonna do what you had to do to win, or were you gonna just try to be as clean as possible there?
No, that's not my style. If I can't get it done clean, then it's not worth doing. I'd rather finish side by side, in second place than to wreck the guy in front of me. It's no way to win. But, this is just a really special place to me. I'm an East Tennessee guy. I live in Clinton, which is like, hour and a half down the road. We go to Bristol anytime they're not running dirt there. It's just a really special place for me and a cool place to get a win. And I'm just pumped, man. This is awesome. All
right. Well, again, that was a great race. You definitely earned it. everybody really put on a really good show tonight. I'm sure if you go back and watch it, you'd enjoy just the racing. I'm sure everyone who watched enjoyed. Is there anyone you want to shout out or thank before you head out and celebrate your win here tonight?
Yeah, thanks to Braxton for racing me clean back. That was, like I said, really, really fun to do. And thanks to you guys for the broadcast, and Tiger Boats and Slingshot for putting the league on. And I'm having a blast. Hopefully that'll, make up for my stumble in the points last week. That was a big mistake on my part. So with any luck, I'll be in it and try and finish strong here. We got a couple races left.
And congratulations, Sam, again. That was, again, an instant classic between you and Braxton DeWeese. I'm honestly surprised that we didn't see a little bit more contact, because I guess I would say last week we saw, some crazy moves there at the end that, ended up causing a lot of guys to have their, days ended or end behind the wall. But it was a breath of fresh air to see you guys race clean, and congratulations once again. It was a fantastic race and something I'm very honored to say that I called along with Tony.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was as much fun to race as it was to watch, I'm sure. Like I said, this place is real special to me, and this is one of the few victories I've gotten here, and it's awesome to do it at your home track.
Well, Bristol is an amazing place to call your home track, because my home track is Phoenix, and just have to say that it's not the same. Bristol is the king.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Congrats, Sam, and go celebrate your win, and hopefully we'll see you up here again next week. Have a good one, man.
Thanks, guys.
And that was your winner, Sam Oliver. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was a great race. Any thoughts on any more thoughts on the race before we head out here tonight?
Well, I'm honestly amazed we didn't have more cautions done. I knew that the beginning of the race we were going to see some, some big wrecks, wrecks here and there. Wesley Pistol had a great run going. Unfortunately, got caught up in multiple incidents and finished 21 laps down. But I think his day is coming one day, Tony. He's been running really well. I would say for 60 to 70% of the race, but it's that final 30% where he has to capitalize, and unfortunately, it just hasn't happened for him yet.
Yeah, I think you got to expect anything to happen at a short track like this, but yeah, it's a rough way to end the race. So definitely had some speed, and hopefully everybody who's still here watching, hopefully you guys enjoyed the race, and we'll see you again next week. I'm Tony Hilbrands, and that's Ryan O'Hara, and we will catch you again same time, same place next week.
Have a great night.